Tasha? Wow, you look so excited. Look at you move.
Yeah, girl, I'm super excited about 2019 about to be gone, and 2020 is about to hit.
Yes,
be here,
as good
hunty.
as 2019 has been, it's also been equally stressful.
Oh, girl, you ain't got to tell me about the stress. I felt it all throughout my whole body this year.
You know what? I am so glad that you did this experiment with me with Nice but Feisty.
Yeah, it was fun. I like doing the show.
It's really helped her relationship.
Are you getting mushy?
No, I'm not getting mushy.
You are crying.
I'm not crying. I'm just saying this like
yes, you
really,
are.
really great. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice but Feisty. I am Mandy Nice. I'm going to get right into my topics. I'm going to be covering more of the out of, U.S. news, and Tasha will cover the stuff that's more local. So my first topic is actually before I even get into that, we have someone coming in, and if you guys are familiar with the entire year, you know this person already. She is our UK correspondent, our cousin Max. Her name is Margaret, so just know that she doesn't like anybody outside of the family to call her Max, just us. We are the only ones. Well, other family members too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So Margaret will be joining us on this episode because we only have 2 episodes left for 2019. This episode and then next week's episode, and then we're off for the rest of 2019, and we will see you in the new year of 2020 back on January 7th. So let me go ahead and jump into my topics so I can go ahead and turn it over to Maggie and Tasha, okay? So my first topic is speaking about the volcanic eruption in New Zealand. It's actually a small island. It was a private island that people would go to tour the island and all of that good stuff. And unfortunately, the small island erupted, and thus far as of December 9th, 5 people have been killed or are dead. 23 people were rescued, but there are 20 people that have not yet been accounted for as of December 9th. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem like there was any kind of warning. It was a spontaneous, sporadic eruption on this volcanic island, and that is an unfortunate consequence of visiting such a place like a volcanic island, because they can erupt anytime without warning, and that is what happened on early Monday morning, approximately 1 a.m. in New Zealand. So it did not hit the main island. It was one of the smaller islands, but nonetheless, 5 people's lives have been snuffed out. So that's that. My next topic is speaking about Russia being banned for 4 years from competing in the Olympics and also the World Cup. This also includes the year 2020 and the year 2022 due to a doping scandal back in January 2019. That's earlier this year. The officials were given anti-doping information from Russia's anti-doping agency called Rushadad. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably totally screwing up the pronunciation. Rushadad. I will spell it for you so you can go Google it yourself. It's Rusada. Investigators back in have found the agency non-compliant. They have been declared non-compliant for manipulating laboratory data. So that is why Russia is now barred or banned from competing. Athletes can still compete, but they will have to compete under a neutral flag. They will not be able to fly their Russian flag. And also those athletes will still have to abide by the anti-doping rules and regulations in order to compete. My last topic I'm going to speak about is NATO, and NATO is actually the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was originally formed in 1949 as a defense of the defense of European countries and the North Atlantic countries, basically Canada and the US, against the threat of the Soviet Union's aggression at that time. So when Donald Trump stated that he wanted to include Russia into NATO, that basically defeats the whole purpose of NATO, because NATO was actually formed in order to fight against the Soviet Union, basically Russia. So in 2005, there were upwards of 26 countries, including several middle Eastern European countries that had also joined NATO. But again, the whole purpose of NATO was to have a defense against the Soviet Union. So therefore, that's why Russia was barred. So the reason why I bring this topic up is because now, since President Macron has said that, they're pretty much not really interested in NATO anymore because of its brain death. This was really a jab at Mr. Donald Trump, basically because since his administration, there has been a complete neglect of commitment from the U.S. to the association, and this was really Mr. Macron's way of getting at Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump is now saying, oh, NATO's okay, NATO's good, and France needs NATO more than anyone else. And he could possibly be right in that case, but the fact of the matter is, this looks like two chatty Cathys going at each other at this particular point. So it's just very interesting that now that France has totally dissed NATO, basically, that Trump is jumping on the bandwagon and saying, oh, NATO's not that bad, even though he was totally dissing it before Macron did it. Anyway, let's turn it on over to Max. Okay, so they talked me into it. I'm Margaret. To family, I'm known as Max. But if you're not part of my family, then you're going to call me Margaret. They talked me into it because they said this was, one of their last episodes, 2019. So I'm just gonna hurry up. Because this tragedy, it should have not happened. This guy by the name of Usman Khan, terrorized Londoners. And frankly, the people on London Bridge didn't back down. They went after him, even though he was stabbing people. And two of the people that he stabbed and lost their lives was named Jack Margaret and Saskia Jones. And it's just, senseless violence like this shouldn't happen. But it was 300 seconds. That's 5 whole minutes of terrorizing. And it took, luckily, the police did show up when they did. They thought he had actual bomb vest on. And this guy, Khan, he was known for terrorist attacks before. And I just feel sorry for anyone else that does plan on turning their life around and saying they're no longer a terrorist or no longer radicalized, that this guy might jeopardize, the way people would think about, other people that try and change their life around. And he fucked it all up. His second chance. And these kids lost their lives, and only freaking 20-something years old, and it's awful. It's just simply awful. So, that's the bit of UK news Mandy wanted me to touch on. And, yeah. Bug off, please. Bye. Well, right then. Hope you enjoyed her take on the attack on the London Bridge that happened during Thanksgiving. And now, take it away, Tasha. Hey, all right. You already know whose turn it is. Yes, honey, yes. I missed y'all so much over the holiday. You know, I wanted to get on here and jump on talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but you know, healing, and it's getting so much better. My back feels a little bit better. I got a little bit of tension at the bottom now, but at least I can turn my neck. Because I'm gonna tell you something, when you get in a car accident, definitely go see a doctor, because whiplash is a bitch. All right, so let me go ahead and get in my topics. I'm first start off talking about Dumpy. Y'all know, got to talk about that dude because he's like in the news all the time. And y'all already know at the conference for NATO, he got talked bad about, you know, and the, you know, girl covered it. Anyway, I'm not surprised that happened. It just, it was funny because now he realizes that people aren't really targeting the United States of America. They're targeting him directly as the fact that he is very unorthodox in the way he speaks and talks and all that stuff. People don't mind unorthodox when you make sense. But they're making fun of the fact that he doesn't really make sense when he is trying to convey an idea or a thought. So that's going to pull away from your intelligence when you can't properly communicate what it is that you're trying to say. It just makes you look weird, you know, unfortunately. And, you know, some people are weird and that's okay. But when you are a leader of a country, you have to be able to communicate effectively. That's just that. So, speaking of Dumpy, Mark Zuckerberg had a secret meeting with Dumpy, and we can see the effects of that particular meeting because Mark Zuckerberg is not pushing Facebook to really actually flag and take down political ads that are known to be false and that are spreading, you know, a false narrative or even just flat out lying. They're not taking them down, and that's a problem. So we can clearly see the effects, the actions based on that meeting, which is he's not taking down stuff that is completely biased towards GOP, conservatism, basically white supremacy. Because GOP and conservatism, even Tea Partyism, all of that are code words for white supremacy. You need to understand that, okay? Right off the bat. You need to know that. So when you see Mark Zuckerberg not wanting to take down political ads that are thinly veiled attempts to support white supremacy, you need to know that he is showing who he is. If you are not against white supremacy, what does that say about you? I'll let y'all put those two and two together and see if you get for it or not. So there's that. Nancy Pelosi has called for the drafting of the Articles of Impeachment against Donald Trump. So they are going forward on that motion. They're trying to get him, you know, they're trying to get him to take his jobs as president seriously. You know, he likes the position, he likes the title, but he don't like doing the job. And because he's not doing the job in a manner that helps to hold the country together, this is the problem that we're having. So, and the fact of the matter is, I don't care. I don't know him personally, so I don't know him enough not to like him. I don't like the way he's handling his job. But I mean, hey, I didn't run for president. If you didn't want to do the job, you shouldn't have ran for the position. And you got chosen by a certain group or demographic of the country, so you need to go in there and do the damn job. Like, get off of fucking Twitter and do the damn job. I agree with Republicans on this point. Yes, he should get off of Twitter. You and me, Republicans, we agree on that. He should not be on Twitter. Okay? Me and you agree. Because if you will poll Republicans right now, the main complaint amongst all Republicans, even including his base, is that he's always on fucking Twitter. So there. Me and you agree on one thing. Alright, now, last thing is that Kamala Harris has dropped out of the presidential race for 2020. I honestly didn't think she was going to drop out right now. I thought either if she did, here's my thought. If she was going to drop out, I thought she was going to drop off way later down the road. And if she didn't drop out, I thought she just wasn't going to be the national candidate. That was just personally what I was thinking. And the reason why I was thinking that is because of her prosecutorial record. When she had the position of being a prosecutor in her district, in her state, that was the position of power needed in order to enact change, and she did not enact change. She actually was trying to keep an innocent man in jail. Like that is not a good thing to have on your record. You know what I mean? And the fact that she pushed for more strict truancy laws, and those particular laws disproportionately affect African Americans and Black people more so than anyone else. So the fact that you had this record where you were actually against the community that you said you love so much, your actions speak louder than your words. And that's why she wasn't getting the support that everybody thought that she should have been getting from the Black community or the African American community, is because you did things literally to hurt the Black community. You didn't apologize for it. You tried to skate it off like, oh, it was when you had the position of power, we saw what you did with it. You didn't help, you hurt. So she got hurt. That's what happened. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't, especially with Black people, you can't go, oh, I need your help now after you done hurt them and not even apologize. Not even apologize. You should have started with the apology first, and then you probably would have got the support that you were looking for. Anyway, that's all I got. I love you. Bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandy Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Have a good one.